This is I Am Change podcast. The IAC podcast hopes to inspire you to live more consciously and be the change the society needs. I'm your host, Korede Azeez. How many weddings were you supposed to attend that have now been cancelled or suspended? Did you have to move your own wedding? Are you a wedding vendor currently out of business? The COVID-19 pandemic has hit weddings hard, resulting in dashed hopes, crushing disappointment, and lost revenue for the people who make weddings happen. You may kiss the bride. Actually, no you can't. The governor of New York made it legal for couples to hold online weddings. All over the world, some people are adjusting by taking vows in parking lots and holding ceremonies by video conference. In fact, I had an interesting conversation with a wedding planner in Abuja who pulled off a virtual wedding. But can she convince you that virtual weddings are the way to go? Just maybe.
My name is Chizzy Onyekwere. I'm an event planner. I work with Veez event planners and managers.
How did you adjust when this thing started?
So first of all, we closed the fiscal office, had to now have online virtual meetings with our clients to also move their events. The events we had for April and May, all of them have been postponed really to the later part of the year. Probably, hopefully by September, things will be back on track. Then also we had to actually do the virtual online wedding thing because we felt a lot of people were getting married on Zoom without the reception, and if they keep doing that, it means our relevance as events vendors would lose its quality in the society. So we did the virtual wedding, which was all over, and it was an amazing thing to do really because we showed people a world of possibilities. Yes, we are Nigerians. We love Owambe. The physical party can't be taken away from us. It's like a heritage for us. But we try to show people who may be considering the second option that it's still possible to have fun.
Yeah. So when I saw that on your page, it was really exciting because I thought, so Nigerians would even buy this idea in the first place. Can you walk us through how it happened, like how a virtual wedding party in Nigeria might work?
The first thing we had to do, first of all, was to look for someone who is good with tech. When we got the tech person on board, we told him the idea we had. He was actually very welcoming of the idea. We decided, okay, let's get vendors on board. Initially, when we started speaking to vendors, a lot of them were skeptical, like especially the makeup artists. The first thing was, makeup has to do with being in someone's space, like right there in their face. You have to be looking at their face. So the social distancing thing may not work. So when we were thinking about it, we told the makeup artist, and she's like, okay, that this is what she can do. She can actually have like a 5-day class with the bride, or actually the bride and the groom are my staff. They work for me. So she was like, she could have a 5-day training with the bride and then teach her how to do her makeup, tell her the items she would need to get. So we did that, bought some of the makeup items, gave to the bride, and they started the class. And after in fact, on the 3rd day, I was impressed with the improvement I saw because I had started from the beginning with them, monitoring the training process. And initially, she couldn't even draw a basic eyebrow properly. But by the 3rd day, she knew how to do her makeup and even contour her face.
Wow.
So I'm like, wow, this is like paying for 2 skills. You look beautiful and still get the makeup skill for any day you want to slay. So it was a good thing when we got all the vendors on board, because most of the vendors we decided to use are vendors we use on a regular, people who know how, should I call it, how wild we can be?
Okay.
Because my mind works in a very funny way. I see events differently from the way a lot of people see them. So when I told a lot of vendors what I was up to, all of them were just like, you and your husband, Sophie are funny people. Well, how do people just sit down and think of such things? But it
Wow.
was great. By the time we were done, I think the major challenge we had basically were Nigerian network providers. God, we still have like a huge gap to cover in that area.
Yes, it's like my biggest headache too, working from home.
It's very frustrating. You won't believe
Mm,
we had every single network provider you can think of. And at
wow.
one point, one would not be working. I'm like,
Mm,
how long does it have to take Nigerians to get the basic thing like network right? Like, it was frustrating.
mm-hmm.
And then the funny thing was, when the day before, when we did the test run,
Yeah.
NEPA took light.
So you had like generators and all that. You had like backup
Yeah,
plans.
we actually had to now use generators as the backup plan because we figured if we don't have backup plans and something goes wrong when the main thing is happening, it would be an embarrassment, which is something that event centers don't face when you're having like the physical wedding, because they run on generator from the beginning of the event to the end.
Okay, so I know that this one was a mock. It was like a mock wedding, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. But if you are actually going to do this for a client, now let's assume they are in the same city as you. Would they have to come to a particular venue that you have decorated? How many team members would you have at that venue? Because I'm assuming you have a video person there, at least someone that can broadcast that online and all that. And will you be monitoring there as well, or will you be working remotely?
So if, for instance, we're going to do this for an actual couple, their house would be the perfect location to use, their sitting room, and the decorator would come there and decorate it. Because what we did for this one was the decorator was there as early as 6 a.m. The bride and groom were still sleeping. It was the gate man who led them into the compound.
Mm-hmm.
She and just one staff, she actually did the coupling of the flowers in her house. So she just carried the backdrop, the cylindrical vases with the flowers already, got there, placed them, swept the whole place, used sanitizer all over with jig to clean before the bride and groom even woke up. I wasn't even there at the venue at all the entire day. The only people who were at the venue were the photographer, that's one, the videographer, and then the tech person who had to connect the LED screen to the laptop to get the viewers to see it very clearly, really. So there were just about 3 personnel on board there at the venue.
Okay, so that means the MC too will be probably in his own house giving commentary.
Yes, he was in his house. The saxophonist was also in his house. The DJ in his house also.
Wow.
So everybody just delivered from their houses. That's why network was a major problem for us, because we needed to make sure that everybody had good network. So we just got all 4 lines for everybody, loaded it with data, and made sure that if at any point you start having network issues with this one, quickly switch over to this one's hotspot and just find a way around it, really.
I can actually really imagine this working. I mean, with even the wedding guests dressed up at home, joining the video call and all that.
I didn't realize we were going to take it that seriously until I saw people actually. A guy actually even wore agbada. I'm like, wow.
That's brilliant. So
it was fun.
Yeah. So after you promoted that, did you get like lots of inquiries? How were people receptive to the idea of an online wedding?
Well, a lot of industry colleagues were not receptive to the idea because event vendors, we make our money from the large crowd, but we've gotten inquiries after we did this. I've had at least 10 people come to my DM to ask for inquiries or quotes for the virtual wedding. And even while I tell them that you may have to like just hold on, let's see if this would stop. So I've given my clients 2 options, really, all of them. I've told them, pick a later date in the year. If the government begins to approve at least 20 to 50 persons in a gathering, fine, we'll do small intimate events. Intimate events would trend for a long while after the pandemic, because it would take a while before you would convince people to gather in a place that has crowd. A lot of people will still be skeptical and scared about it. So intimate events are going to be the trend for a while, where you'd have about 20 to 50 guests or 100 guests. If that doesn't even work because the government does not give a go-ahead for events, then of course, virtual events. That's why my team members keep saying it's a good thing that the big fishes in the industry are not buying the idea, because when people decide to now go that route, we would become the first option, because we've done it, we've tested it, we know what the technicalities are, we know what the problems can be, we've figured out ways to sort them out, really. So we have just 2 options for clients right now. Either you do a small intimate event of about 20 to 50 people, or you go virtual.
Okay, but from what you're saying, it seems that brides, grooms, they are buying the idea. They don't mind the idea of a virtual wedding.
Yeah, some of my clients really don't mind the idea of a virtual wedding. I've had two people think about it because one said she didn't want to wait anymore, although her husband asked her to give them some time till there about August. He said if by August things have not died down for them to have the physical wedding, they'll just go to a chapel, the priest will bless their marriage, and then they'll do the reception online, really, because, well, she can't keep waiting.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can totally imagine. So, the people who have inquired so far about the virtual weddings, do they have any reservations about
Yes,
it?
one actually had a big reservation about it. Her major concern was that, okay, majority of her siblings, for instance, don't stay they don't stay in the country.
Okay.
And she would have really wanted them to be present in the house with her because they're just about 4. So she's like, even if it's just her and her husband, her parents, his parents, and her siblings, they still wouldn't be up to 20. So she would have really wanted them to be present physically. People still just want to share that special moment with people who mean a lot to them physically. They don't just want to do it virtually and just end it there. So
Of course.
that's the major reservation we've actually met over time from inquiries.
And that actually makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much. It's really nice talking with you.
Korede. It was nice talking to you.
So, would you consider a virtual wedding? I can understand if you're not too keen on the idea, but if you're not one to wait indefinitely, then at least you have a viable option. If you would like to see a video of the virtual wedding that Chizzy pulled off, we'll be leaving a link in the description. Nigerian weddings take on so many different forms depending on the couple's culture or religion. Some do a church wedding and a reception on the same day, and others may have a traditional ceremony, religious ceremony, and reception on different days. I spoke with Kafila Abolali Dada, a newly married bride, about how the pandemic forced her to change her wedding plans.
So when we heard the news of the pandemic, it was just 2 weeks before the wedding.
Wow.
And honestly, I wasn't even sad. I wasn't sad. I wasn't disappointed. Yes, I wasn't, because I mean, we don't know what the future holds. We don't know what might have happened on that day. So, I mean, after the first week, and then we saw that like this thing is getting serious and all of that. So my parents and my husband's parents are like, okay, you know what? I mean, I just do a small thing, and it's just family members, because I mean, we don't know how long this lockdown will be for. We don't know how long the pandemic will be here for, and all of that. And whenever it is over, we can have the walima. So that was when I felt disappointed, funny, because I mean, I've always been, not that I've been against it, but I didn't like the idea of do Akdu now, do walima later. I never liked it.
For those who may not understand these terms, what's an Akdu and what's a walima?
Oh, okay. So Akdu is joining together. The walima is just the party. It's just, the gathering. So the week to April 4th, that was when, it was even on a Wednesday. Yes. So the wedding was like, the Akdu was like 2 or 3 days away, and that was when they decided. And I'm like, I don't even have clothes to wear. I tried to order a dress, and then I got the dress, but they said they couldn't deliver because it was interstate. And I'm like, okay, you know what?
So what did you do about that?
Well, so I had this dress. It's a new dress, but it was kind of tight. The wrist was tight, so I had to give it to my aunt as a tailor, that she should just help me loosen it a bit. So I just remember that, oh, okay, that dress is still with her. I mean, it's not something that I would think of wearing on a normal day for my nikah, of course, but I mean, I just had to make it work somehow. So you know what? The morning of the nikah, I had to go to a tailor's place to get this, what's it called? Applique, trimmings, or what do you call it? Just to style my veil, just to at least look good. Like, I was just, if you had seen me, you would be like, are you sure you're getting married?
Okay, so apart from the wahala with the dress, how was the Akdu? I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it turned out to be interesting. I didn't put too much expectation to it. I mean, I just wanted the day to come. I mean, I just wanted to follow my husband, which was not that simple because I was already tired of the old thing. Yeah. I was like, why don't you just come and carry me and be going? Not this one that they are doing. So I didn't put much expectation to it. I just came, and then along the lines, it was interesting. I enjoyed it. Alhamdulillah.
We are hoping that, inshallah, this day will be over by the end of this year. But what if we are still like this till December? Have you thought about what you're going to do?
Well, the funny thing is, I kind of spent half of my day yesterday. I kind of spent half of the day thinking about that. My dress. The only thing that was coming to my head was my dress. Because I had like about 4 outfits, yes. So I've just been thinking like, what will happen to all this? And it's not something that I can wear on a regular day. Yeah. Or even if I'm going for an event, I mean, I'll just get there and I'll be like, are you the one doing something? Why are you all dressed up like this? So I've just been thinking, what would I do with it? Okay, maybe when I give birth, I can wear one of these for my naming ceremony or something. But like the ball dress, obviously I can't wear a ball dress on the ceremony. Yeah. So, but I don't know. I mean, I've learned to. I mean, over the years, I've learned to not bother myself over something I can't control. I mean, I've prayed about it, and I just believe it's will in Allah. And if it's going to happen, which I believe it will happen, last probably just do 1 year anniversary. We need to do 1 year anniversary or something. Because I know my parents want it. My husband's parents want it. The party. So definitely I know that it will happen. It needs to happen. We just don't know when. Exactly. We just don't know when. Whenever it is, just for our last part of our life. Our life to them.
So meanwhile, have you come across any online weddings, online receptions? Have you been hearing about those?
Yeah, I have. I think a friend of mine even tagged me on one. I just didn't think I was interested. Because I mean, okay, we do it and then everybody's on Zoom looking at you saying all of that. So I don't know. Maybe because I already had the attitude, so I just thought it wasn't necessary, so I didn't pay attention to it.
So you would rather just wait for your party than do an online reception?
Yes, so I'll wait for my party. I'll wait for my party.
For other ladies who want to get married soon, do you have any suggestions for them? Say they are not sure what to do. What would you say to them?
Well, from my own experience, I just tell them to do what they want. And they should be careful with unnecessary spending. Honestly, so many things will enter your eyes. So many things will enter your eyes. Seriously. So many things will enter your eyes. But the question on your mind should be, you know what, after this day, would this be useful? Just know what you want. Tell your parents, this is what I want. If you don't want a big party, tell them. If they yari and say, okay, I want to do big party, that's fine. You can still have your own wedding. You can still make it feel personal to you. And then they still have their own party.
Okay.
That's two key things.
Okay. Thank you so much. It's been such a delight talking to you, Kafila. Thank you so much for your time.
The coronavirus pandemic has caused so much heartache, loss, and disappointment. But it is refreshing to see that amid it all, people are finding innovative ways to be together. Your original plans may no longer be feasible, but you don't have to throw your hands in the air in defeat. What matters most in the end is that you are able to share special moments with the people who are dearest to you. I'll leave you with a quote by Maya Angelou. If you can't change it, change your attitude. IAC Podcast is on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. On Twitter, we are at IAC_podcast. On Facebook and Instagram, we are at I Am Change Podcast. Don't forget to share this podcast with your friends. Please rate and review IAC Podcast on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, or wherever else you listen to podcasts. That way, more people can find us. Until the next episode, continue to be the change you want to see.